Hi, I'm Wendy Van Wagner.
And I'm Joe Meade, and you're with us here at In the Kitchen Cooking School, where we'll be making and canning dill pickles today.
To make the pickles, you'll need 4 pounds pickling cucumbers, 6 heads of fresh dill, 3.5 tablespoons non-iodized or kosher salt, 3 cups 5% white vinegar,
3 cups of dechlorinated soft water, 1.5 tablespoons of yellow mustard seeds, 6 cloves of white skinned garlic, and 6 bay leaves. You want to wash all of your utensils and jars. USDA does say, though, if you're going to be processing for more than 10 minutes, you will just need clean jars. You won't need to pre-sterilize them.
If you have a dishwasher and you're doing a bunch of jars at one time, you can also run it through your sanitizer rinse. Make sure to inspect your jars. So I like to go around the inside and around the top, just feel for any chips or irregularities to make sure that it's safe to use.
You want to make sure that the rubber sealing rings are soft and flexible so that you get a good seal. Also inspect the lid for any chips or cracks.
When making pickles, it's an important part of food safety to use a tested recipe and not deviate from the ratios given in the recipe.
It's important to use a 5% vinegar or a 50-grain vinegar. Be sure not to use a homemade vinegar or something where you're not sure of the acidity, as that may make your pickles unsafe to eat.
Make sure you use the freshest pickling cucumbers you can find. Slicing style or burpless cucumbers do not make good pickles.
You want to select young, even slightly immature cucumbers. You want them to be thin-skinned and about 4 inches long.
To prepare your cucumbers, wash them thoroughly no matter where you got them, and slice off the blossom end and leave about 1/4 inch of stem. For the brine, we need 3 cups water, 3 cups vinegar, 3.5 tablespoons salt, and 1.5 tablespoons yellow mustard seeds. So I'm bringing my brine to a boil, and I'm also stirring it a little bit to make sure that all of the salt dissolves. Add a dill head, a bay leaf, and a peeled garlic clove to each jar. If you want, you can also add a pinch of pickling spice.
If you hold the jar at a little bit of an angle, it'll allow you to fill the jar completely up. Now it's time to add the hot brine. Leave 1/2 inch of headspace, that's the area from the lid to the top of the liquid.
And so I'm taking a plastic spatula, just something pretty thin that you can fit between the pickles and the jar, and I'm releasing any air bubbles. And you want to go around and do that to each jar. Okay, so we're all ready to seal up our jars, but before you do that, you want to take a towel, a clean towel, and wipe the rim of each jar, and you want to get on the inside too.
So we're going to add our lids and rings to the jar. For extra tall jars, like these beautiful asparagus jars, I'm going to go ahead and just use a large stock pot that I have. I'm going to add hot water, as you want to make sure that there's 2 inches of water above your jars. You want to put a steamer rack or something in the bottom just to protect your jars while they're in the water bath. Once the water in your water bath comes to a boil, that's when your canning time starts. This recipe calls for 30 minutes. When the processing time is completed, turn the flame off, but allow the jars to sit in the hot water for at least another 5 minutes. Remove the jars from the hot water and place them on a cooling rack, a towel, or onto a wooden cutting board and allow them to cool completely.
And even after they're cooled, you want to leave them undisturbed overnight so that the seal really has a chance to take hold. So once the jar is cooled, you want to remove the metal clips, and you can test the seal by gently placing your fingers on the edge and pulling up. If you don't get any resistance, then obviously it hasn't sealed. And if that's the case, stick those in your fridge and enjoy these pickles first. Now all you need to let them do is rest for 2 to 3 weeks before enjoying them. Thanks for joining us again in the kitchen.
So get out there and grow some cucumbers, can some pickles, and grow organic for life.